joy, joy down in my heart. I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Down in my heart today. You got the joy? Woo! We got the joy. Third Sunday in Advent. Here we are. Woo! We made it. And it's a zoo in here. It's a zoo in here. People, thought I saw animals all around. People brought their favorite stuffies, I hope, and if you didn't bring favorite stuffies, we have some animals to join us on this Sunday as we listen and experience the Christmas story anew. The hymn proclaims, "Let heaven and nature sing," and today I hope that heaven and nature join us in singing on this Sunday filled with joy. It's been a weekend indeed filled with joy, as last night so many gathered for our Christmas with a Celtic flair, and still people are talking about all that was offered last night in terms of gifts of music and song. And so I thank you once again to all involved in that musical evening. It certainly was a taste of Christmas for us and a way to get us into that festive season. So today we gather. We're filled with the joy of the angels. We're filled with the joy of Mary, filled with the joy of community, filled with the joy of gratitude and generosity, filled with a joy that draws us closer in community. Joy to the world, we often sing. And today that joy fills us. It is what we normally call our white gift worship, drawing on that tradition of sharing gifts of generosity and gifts of self with others. So a thank you to those who have brought gifts in support of the Pictou Town Opportunity Shop Star Gift Program and Christmas program, and also as we offer gifts of care and kindness to those who will be gathering on Christmas Day in our town for a community Christmas meal. And a thank you to those who are continuing to support our Change It Up project. It is good to be together. As we gather together this morning, as always, draw your attention to a number of announcements in this morning's bulletin and a couple that may not be there. This morning's bulletin, is dedicated in loving memory of husband Stuart and son William by Beth McDonald Barnes. Blessed be, thanks be to God. As we gather together this morning, we do gather in community, and as it is our practice, we uphold one another in prayers of care and love. And this morning, as we gather, we enfold in our prayers and care the family of Ina Mackenzie. Many will fondly remember Ina, and Ina died on Thursday. And so we enfold in our love and care her sister Shirley and the rest of Ina's Mackenzie family. Private family service will be held tomorrow with burial to follow. So we certainly continue to hold Shirley in our thoughts and in our prayers. I invite you, as always, to go through the announcements that are in the bulletin. This season can be a difficult time for varieties of reason, be it grief or loss or memories of Christmas past or the stress and anxiety or loneliness that might fill us. And so it is that we have offered every year what we call a Oh Holy Night worship. You may hear it called Blue Christmas or the Longest Night, but it's really a service of reflection and contemplation, a chance just to be in the warmth of this sanctuary surrounded by light and to listen to words of hope and comfort and assurance. And so I invite you to take note of that on the back of the bulletin. It will be held on the evening of winter solstice on the longest night, 7 p.m. here in our sanctuary. And perhaps there's someone who you think or might appreciate knowing about this. Please share the invitation to join us on that evening. In your bulletin, you'll find information about our 12 Days of Christmas Fund fundraiser that is continuing on Facebook, and the Christmas dinner that's happening in our town, open to all on Christmas Day at the New Horizons Club. Are there other announcements that need to be made as we gather this morning? As we gather today, may we be reminded once again that the true meaning of the season is not found in what we buy or what we hope for or what we get, but rather it's found in our being together, in our sharing of friendship and community, in our caring for ourselves and one another, and exercising that care within our community. The season is about gifts of hope and peace and joy and love. And so we come together in that spirit to share all that we are and all that we have, to share that with one another and with our wider community and world. One of our favorite Christmas movies or books for many of us to turn to in this season is The Grinch. And in there is much wisdom. You might remember these words. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. What if Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store? What if Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more? What if? Maybe it is in the waiting for God, not in the wandering from store to store, that we find our way. Maybe it is in the waiting for God, not in the frenzy of the crowds, that we are led to the manger. Maybe it is in the waiting for God, not in the pile of stuff under the tree, that we find what we are hoping for and searching for. Maybe, just maybe, this Advent will be different. Maybe, just maybe, we will let God lead us to Bethlehem.
In each heart lies a Bethlehem, an inn where we must ultimately answer whether there is room or not.
When we are Bethlehem bound, we experience our own Advent in His. When we are Bethlehem bound, we can no longer look the other way, conveniently not seeing stars, not hearing angels' voices. We can no longer excuse ourselves by busily tending our sheep for our kingdoms.
This Advent, let us go to Bethlehem and see the thing that the Lord has made known to us. In the midst of the shopping sprees, let's ponder the gift of gifts.
Through the tinsel, let's look for the gold of the Christmas star. In the excitement and confusion, in the merry chaos, let's listen for the brush of angels' wings.
This Advent, let's go to Bethlehem and find our kneeling places.
peace, joy. The light flickers, the light shines. Please join with me as we're gathered in prayer. Lord Jesus, there was no room for you in the inn on the night that you were born. Gather us. May we make room in our hearts for you. Lord Jesus, as the star shone brightly in the sky to announce your birth, gather us. May your light warm us and lead us. Lord Jesus, angels sang at your birth, filling the night sky with celebration of divine love. Gather us, fill us with joy. What is joy? Joy is being with people you love. Joy is smelling chocolate chip cookies. Joy is hearing a favorite song. What is joy? What gives you joy? Family? Children laughing, family. What gives you joy? Food? What gives you joy? What gives you joy? Sunshine. What gives you joy? Snowflakes. What gives you joy? Music, I heard. What gives you joy? Say it out loud. Infants. What gives you? Stuff checked off the to-do list. What gives you joy? Sleeping in. Does being here give you joy? You got joy? We've got joy? Woo! Joy! Joy is the spirit that fills us today. Joy is not in things, it is in us. Amen. Christmas is a-coming, and this Advent season we be marking our way to Christmas with our Change It Up project, using our change to support organizations in Nova Scotia, across our country, around the world that seek to make change, that seek to bring gifts of hope and joy and love into people's lives. I've talked about our Dalhousie University chaplaincy that helps students at Dalhousie, and our United Church Healing Fund that helps our Aboriginal sisters and brothers across Canada. And today, I want to talk about another organization. Has anyone ever been to Cuba? To visit Cuba? Has anyone? Where did you go when you went to Cuba?
Holguin.
Holguin? Anyone been to Veradero? Veradero. Now, 30 minutes from Veradero, you would find another community, Cantanzas, and there you would find the Centro Cristiano de Reflexión y Diálogo Cuba, a big term for an organization that seeks to make a difference in their community. And so, we are offering our change to help them make change. Because one of the things that this organization does is that every day they do what we would call Meals on Wheels. But they don't do it in cars. I know there's some people here who have driven meals around town. They do it on bikes. They have people on bikes with big, it looks like almost coolers on the back of them, and those meals are delivered to seniors in the community who, if they didn't have this meal delivered, would probably be very, very hungry and would probably not eat very healthy meals. And sometimes while they're there visiting the seniors, they find out that maybe they need medicine or maybe they need help with something in their home. And so they try to help as much as they can, reaching out to people in their community. And so our change, be it our quarters or loonies or our paper change, all that together will make a difference for our partners in Cuba. We, as part of the United Church, work around the world, and Cuba is but one of the countries in which we help to make a difference. So we're continuing to change it up and use our change to bring about change. And we're going to sing together as we seek to change it up. Next week, 4 verses. This morning we're turning to a psalm of praise and joy. It's Psalm 148. In this psalm, the psalmist, the writer of the psalm, invites us to join in praise of God. The psalmist invites all creation, all creatures, all of us are invited to praise God. Invite James to lead us in our psalm this morning.
Praise God. Praise God from the heavens.
Praise God in the heights. Praise God, all you angels. Praise God, all you who serve God. Praise God, sun and moon. Praise God, all you shining stars. Praise God, you highest heavens, and you watchers above the heavens.
Let them praise the name of God, for God commanded, and they were created. God established them forever and ever. God fixed their bounds, which cannot be passed.
Praise God from the earth, you sea creatures and ocean depths, lightning and hail, snow and frost, storm and winds, mountains and hills, fruit trees and all cedars, wild animals and all cattle, small animals and flying birds.
Rulers of the earth, leaders of all nations, all the judges in the world, young men and young women, old people and children.
Let them all praise God's name. Praise God. Praise God. How do we praise God? We praise God with singing. How else do we praise God? Being kind. How else do we praise God? Anyone ever just a hallelujah, praise God? Get it out of your system. Hallelujah, praise God. Feels good, doesn't it? Praising God. I want you to notice something, though, about this psalm. Notice that before the psalmist invites people to praise God, who's invited to praise God? Angels. Who else? The animals are invited to praise God. Before people, nature is invited to praise God. So I know some of you brought some stuffed animals with you today. Did you? Now, if your animal, I'll grab one, was to praise God, how would your animal praise God? How else would you? I know there's a dragon out there. How would a dragon praise God? Do I hear a dragon roar? Can I hear a dragon roar? Roar! Is that a dragon roar? Yeah? Anyone else? Come on. Who else has an animal with them? Anyone? Tate, what do you have there? Did you bring? That's Maeve. Is that a cow or a donkey? Oh, it's a horse. Oh! I knew I would get it soon enough. How would a horse praise God? All together. Oh, don't you just love it? St. Francis would be proud. Anyone remember the story of St. Francis of Assisi? Lived a long time ago in a town called Assisi in Italy. And it was said that St. Francis had a special relationship with nature, especially birds. That St. Francis would also often go into the woods and preach to the birds. Sometimes I feel like I'm preaching to the birds. But St. Francis got a response when St. Francis went. The birds were, and praise God. But it's St. Francis who this time of the year we remember because he is given credit for creating the first live nativity. Often there's many churches, many communities who have live nativities. They read the Christmas story and they bring the donkeys and the sheep and the cows to be around the manger. But it was St. Francis who first did that in his little town of Assisi. He wanted people to really experience the Christmas story. And he felt that the only way to truly experience the love of God made known in Jesus was also to experience the love of those animals that were there at the night around the manger. And so that's why we remember St. Francis. And perhaps this psalm might have inspired St. Francis to praise God like the animals. So I want you to praise God like a Holstein. I'm not sure that's the way I want to end. Let's praise God like a donkey again. Yeah. That sounds better. Is that a haggis in the middle of the... Is that a haggis sheep? It's a hairy who? A hairy coon. Ooh. Who wants to come join me for a story? You want to join me? Anyone else? Anyone else and their friendly beasts? Oh. How would you praise God? How do you praise God in Gaelic? Whoa, look at these. Come on. Look at all these friends that are with us today. Wow, this is wonderful. Thank you. Well, animals play a special part in the Christmas story. When we read it, we're told that it's the animals who gave up their home, their beds for Jesus that night. So I thought I would share a story about some furry friends. The book is called Finding Christmas, and it's a story about a hare. People know what a hare is? We don't often use that word. Hare is a rabbit. Anyone want to hold hare? Story about a hare and a squirrel. Anyone want to hold squirrel? And squirrel and mouse Anyone want to hold mouse? Want to hold mouse, maybe? Oh, you hold mouse. And we'll find out about their friend, the swallow. Okay, so this is called Finding Christmas. Now, it might be hard to see the pictures, but we'll try since you're all up here. The little burrow was nearly ready for Christmas. Hare sang as he decorated the tree. Squirrel sprinkled sugar on the hazelnut cookies, and Mouse scurried out the door. She needed to get a gift for Hare. The three friends had drawn names weeks ago. Hare had drawn Squirrel's name, Squirrel had picked Mouse's, and Mouse had Hare's name. Mouse had searched high and low, but she had yet to find the perfect present. As Squirrel pulled the last batch of cookies from the oven, Hare hit a high note. "Could you tone it down a bit?" asked Squirrel. Hare had been singing at the top of his lungs all morning. La, 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 la. "But music is my favorite part of Christmas," said Hare. "Music helps bring the Christmas spirit. La, 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 la." Though tomorrow was December 25th, it didn't feel like Christmas yet. Suddenly, the door flew open, and Mouse burst back in. "Hurry," she cried. "I need your help." Squirrel and Hare followed Mouse through the brambles, across the frozen stream. "Oh my," said Squirrel. "She must have been too sick to fly south with the others." You can't see the story. There's this little swallow that's in the snow that they found, the swallow in the snow. "We need to get her out of the cold," said Hare, "and quick." It took all three of them to get the sick swallow back to the little burrow. But even in the warmth of their cozy home, she did not stir. "She needs something more to warm her," suggested Squirrel. "And some medicine," said Mouse. "I know just the thing," exclaimed Hare. Hare picked up the gift he had carefully wrapped for Squirrel. "Go on, Squirrel, open it." "Not now," whispered Squirrel. "Yes, now. You'll see," Hare insisted. Squirrel unwrapped his present. "Purple cone flowers," he said. "My favorite." "I dried them so they'd last all through the winter," Hare explained. "But Swallow needs them more," said Squirrel. "You're right," said Mouse. "Coneflower tea will surely do the trick." Without a second thought, Squirrel scampered off to the kitchen to boil the beautiful blossoms. When the tea was ready, Squirrel carried in the steaming pot. "Any change?" "I'm afraid not," said Mouse. "She's still as cold as ice." Squirrel picked up the present he made for Mouse. "I think you better open this." Mouse pulled a colorful cap from the bag. "How lovely! This'll keep me warm all winter long." But Swallow needs it more. "I'm afraid it's too small," said Hare. "Perhaps if we tug and stretch," said Mouse. And they took hold and yanked and pulled until at last the cap fit onto Swallow's head. Late into the night, as heavy snow fell, the three friends nursed the silent swallow. When the first colors of Christmas crept across the hilltop, Mouse looked under the tree. "I don't mind if we don't have any presents to open." "I don't either," said Squirrel. "I'm sorry, but I didn't find a gift for you, Hare," whispered Mouse. Before Hare answered, Swallow opened her eyes. And she sat up, and she burst into song. How would a swallow sing? Anyone can do a swallow whistle? Oh, la, 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 la. Swallow sat up and burst into song. That's what songbirds do at first light. And the three friends were delighted. "You did it, Mouse!" exclaimed Squirrel. "You found the perfect gift for Hare." "What do you mean?" asked Mouse in surprise. "Well, music is my favorite part of Christmas," said Hare. As Swallow song filled the little burrow, Hare and Mouse lit the candles on the tree. Squirrel brewed more coneflower tea and placed the treats he had baked the day before on a tray. They gathered around the fire, sang carol after carol, and nibbled on hazelnut cookies. "Who wants the last one?" asked Mouse. "Looks like we all do," said Hare. "But Swallow needs it more," they all said at once, and everyone laughed. The greatest gifts that we can give at Christmas are the gifts of love and that gift that comes from our heart, the gift of one another. And so we remember Squirrel and Hare and Mouse and Swallow, who found Christmas when they found one another. Thank you for joining me in one of my favorite stories. Thank you for bringing your friends, too, because we give thanks for all our furry buddies today. Thank you. Thank you. We give love out of boxes, wrapped, tied, tagged. But the first Christmas gift was a love that needed no adornment or disguise, a love that wrapped itself around our tired hearts forever. It is a season where we offer gifts, where we share gifts, where we receive gifts, where we use the gift of ourselves and gifts that we have to make a difference in the lives of others, be it through our change it up and making a difference in the lives of people we don't even know, or through our gifts to the the Town Opportunity Shop Christmas program, or our gifts to a Christmas dinner, or the gifts of dropping by and visiting, the gifts of caroling. What's a gift that you can offer this Christmas? What's a gift that comes from your heart that you can offer this Christmas? Baking cookies for someone. Another gift you can offer this Christmas? Time. I hear that, time. Anyone like to read stories? Do you like storybooks? What about going and reading to someone this Christmas? What about just going to visit someone in the neighborhood that maybe you haven't met before? There's many things we can do to share the message of the season, to share the gift of ourselves with others. We give thanks for the gifts given, for the gifts that bring love and compassion and kindness into our community and into our world. And we are often given gifts at this season. And today, as you leave worship, you'll be given a gift. We talked about St. Francis, right? St. Francis of Assisi, who is given credit for that first live nativity, who had the special relationship with animals and a special relationship with birds. St. Francis, it's said, that in his little town of Assisi, wanted to make a law for Christmas Day. He wanted the people in his town to make a law that said that everyone on Christmas Day should go out into the streets and do what? I heard it. Feed the birds. Francis wanted there to be a law in town that on the day people would go out with their bread and feed birds, and farmers would go out with their feed and spread feed on the fields, that there'd be a special treat given to nature on Christmas Day. And so today, as you leave, you'll receive little bags of birdseed. And it's a gift from our Sunday school to you. A gift to remember that in order to let heaven and nature sing, we really need to care for nature. And so on Christmas Day, you might go out into the fields or to the streets and feed the birds, and to remember St. Francis. And maybe you'll give a bit of praise like the birds or the cows. And remember that we are all invited to give praise to God. So thank you for the gift of you. Thank you for the gift of St. Francis. Kids bring up the gifts. Want to put them all under the tree? Wow, look at this. Wow. first Christmas gift was a love that needed no adornment or disguise, a love that wrapped itself around our tired hearts forever. And we give thanks.
Good news! Good news! Good news! Good news! Good news! Good news! Good news!
Praise God.